My 18 male dad died 12 years ago. My parents were separated at the time and Mom was already dating her husband at that point. They decided to get married and give me a family unit after losing Dad. Then, within a few months, they sat me down to say they wanted to change my last name to their last name. Mom said it was important so that her husband could do his part to take care of me without issues concerning last names. I told her I wanted to keep my last name, that her husband wasn't my dad and that I didn't want to lose more of my dad. I even cried about how important it was to me. She and her husband promised me repeatedly that they would pay for me to change my name back as soon as I was nearly adult, 18, and it was only to make life easier while I was younger and people would make life more difficult for her husband to do certain things with me. I always regretted it, but believed for a long time they'd follow through. But about a year ago, when I mentioned it to my mom, she told me there was no rush, and I told her I wanted the name changed before graduation so I could have it on my diploma. There was a lot of back and forth, and her husband decided to add his own "what's the big deal anyway" comments occasionally. He'd also say his name had been my name longer than my dad's name had been at that point, and I said I didn't care and I wanted my actual name back. That was my actual dad's name too. Eventually, my mom admitted she wouldn't pay for me to change it back and believed I should keep her husband's name because he'd raised me for so long and had done so much. I said no. She told me it wasn't my choice, and I told her she wouldn't stop me once I turned 18. I also told her that she was never going to have a good relationship with me again after lying to me and letting me down. She called me overdramatic, but I spent the rest of my time living with them cold and somewhat hostile, and I shut them out as much as I could. Mom kept and still keeps trying. I moved out of their house and went to live with my cousin, and I filed the day after my 18th birthday to change my name. My court date is coming up very soon, and my mom knows about it because of my extended family. She's tried to forbid me from changing my last name back, and she even lied and said her husband adopted me too, so I couldn't, but I confirmed that didn't happen. Eventually, she told me I was disrespecting them as my parents. I told her then to shut up because she's a liar and I don't care what she has to say about this because her opinion doesn't matter here. My mom started crying and I told her goodbye. I told her that she lost me over this and it was her own damn fault. I told her I would never have said yes to the change had I known, and I told her to suck it up because she was not in charge of me anymore. Some extended family are backing my mom because of how I spoke to her, and Mom told me I had no reason to speak to her like I did. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but your mum's definitely the "a liar trying to adopt" type. I get it, though, is changing your name to his just to make things easier. Boy, she played the longest con on you. Her logic was, we bought you a family pack and we need the receipt to match. You were 6, not signing a new cell phone contract. Also, why does she think crying is going to suddenly make you go, "Oh, you're right, all the manipulation and lies are forgiven now"? Newsflash, tears don't erase broken promises. Change that name and wear it like a badge of badassery. Why do some mothers do this? My daughter has her dad's last name. My husband, son, and I all have the same last name. I'd never expect my daughter to change her name to please me or my husband. It's ridiculous and disgusting. When my husband and I got married, I never even thought of asking her to change her name. Why would I? It's not right. Your mother did it to please her husband. She didn't do it for you. She did it for her and him. What a witch. How is the family glossing over that? They lied to OP to manipulate him to erase Dad's last name, and now these are the consequences. Mom and Stepdad suck royally. He could have still taken very good care of you without changing your name. They knew what they were doing all along, and she's still lying, getting the family involved, and even claiming Stepdad adopted OP. The audacity is incredible. My 28 female partner, 30 male, and I went on vacation last year for our 2-year anniversary and just got back 2 days ago. It was a fantastic, amazing and romantic vacation, all up to the point when my partner suggested we ask a stranger to take a picture of us in a fake proposal in front of the Eiffel Tower. When he asked this, my heart started beating so fast that I immediately assumed he was saying fake proposal as a ruse for a real proposal, which we had not discussed yet. I think I just said, "Wait, what do you mean?" And he said that proposal pictures in this spot were really popular and that we should take the opportunity while we can. I said that I wasn't really interested in a fake proposal picture and that I thought it was weird that he would suggest that. We moved on pretty quickly and went to dinner. When we got back to our hotel that evening, I asked him about it, since it had been on my mind, and I could tell that I'd actually really upset him. I asked him explicitly, "Were you planning on actually proposing to me and I ruined it?" And he said no, that he doesn't think we're ready for that step, and for the record, I agree. Our relationship was long distance for the first 8 months, and I'm planning on moving in with him in 2 months. He said he always thought the proposal picture in front of the Eiffel Tower was romantic, and that he's worried whenever he actually does propose it won't be as romantic as Paris, so he wanted to get the picture while we could. I apologised, but told him that I was only interested in actual proposal pictures, and that I would love them whenever and wherever it happened. He's been pretty crestfallen since this conversation, and I really feel like I genuinely ruined something for him. I called some friends when we got home and got mixed advice, some agreeing that it was a really odd request, and some saying I should have just taken the fake proposal photo, which would have been no harm done. Am I the idiot for not letting my partner fake propose? Not the idiot, it is weird, and also tone deaf on his part. What was he planning on doing with the photos? Anyone seeing them online would instantly think it was genuine before reading any accompanying text that explains it's fake, which is just an idiotic move in itself. It would only make sense if he was planning on proposing and is too proud now to admit it. But you don't spring a fake proposal idea for that. You just ask a stranger to take a few photos and they'll quickly realise what's happening. Fake proposals aren't romantic, even in front of the Eiffel Tower. And if he's bummed because he genuinely just wanted to make a fake proposal for fun and you said no, then boo-hoo. He's an adult, tell him to get over it. Tone deaf is exactly it. Even I, who think the whole wedding industrial complex is an abomination, totally get just how brazenly obtuse this is and how inadvertently cruel this could be. What the heck are you supposed to do with fake proposal pictures? Save them until you get engaged, and then send out 2-year-old photos and have everyone say, "Did they go to Paris again?" The dude's a moron, either lacks social cues or hasn't read the room on your relationship. Also, the fact that he'd be willing to do that for social media? Weak. My boyfriend and I, 29, 23 female, have been together for about 5 months now. He has a toddler daughter with his late wife who passed away suddenly 2 years ago. I didn't mind the fact that he had a daughter at first. I was super in love with him, and still am, and seeing him interact with his daughter was extremely heartwarming. That being said, I'm a little awkward with kids as I never interacted with them much, and I'm undecided on whether or not I want kids. Recently, I've been interacting more with his daughter and have started babysitting somewhat regularly. She's very sweet and very fond of me, but like all toddlers, she has certain behaviours that make me angry, and sometimes it feels like she's purposely making my life as difficult as possible. Because of this, I haven't felt myself become attached to her, and she's just some kid that I look after sometimes. About a week ago, I was babysitting, and as I was leaving, I heard her shout, "Bye, Mommy," which caught me so off guard I didn't know what to say. It felt so weird and uncomfortable. I'm just not at all at a stage in my life where I want to be referred to as a mom. Maybe someday, but definitely not now. When I met up with my boyfriend the other day, and his daughter greeted me with, "Hi, Mommy," I sort of lost it and said, "Please don't call me that," which shocked my boyfriend. He started acting different after that and was way less enthusiastic. Later that night, he called me and asked me why I would say such a thing, and I just told him I wasn't comfortable with it. The conversation ended awkwardly, and I could tell he was still upset about it. Obviously, I know that his daughter is going to be a part of my life, and I'm willing to take care of her, but the term mom just has so much weight to it, and that's a title that I don't feel I'm ready to take on at the moment. Even if we do end up getting married, I still don't know if I want her to call me mom. I just don't have that emotional attachment to her, and it feels off. Besides, kids don't usually call their step-parents mom or dad. I don't know. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot for even being in this relationship. Please step back and get out of their lives because you're not up to being this guy's life or world. She will always be his priority, and she deserves to have someone in her dad's life who's open to loving her as much as she will love them. You have no business even dating this guy feeling as you do. "I don't even know if I want kids." Then don't date a guy with a child. You say she does things to make you angry, you feel no bond with her, that you don't even like her for the most part. What on earth are you doing? I hope he wakes up and realizes that staying with you, and God forbid marrying you, will put his daughter at risk and ruin her life. If you have any self-respect, don't let it get that far. Leave now. They've been through enough and don't need you to further mess with their heads and hearts. How is this not everyone's the idiot here? This guy shouldn't have his girlfriend of 5 months regularly babysitting his toddler. They shouldn't even have met yet. She doesn't sound like she wants to have a kid, but he doesn't sound like he wants to have a girlfriend. He's looking for an in-house babysitter. Zero responsibility was assigned to the almost 30-year-old man who let his toddler daughter meet a woman he'd only known 5 months before and allowed her to call her mom. He's also the idiot. I've, 32 male, been very fortunate to work at a job that pays me well and allows me to travel the world doing what I love. But sometimes, with a wife, 24, and 2 boys, a job that requires you to travel isn't ideal. But I'm not interested in other work because, like I said, it's what I love and I'm lucky and blessed financially. Sometimes I bring my wife and children on trips, but this time I decided not to, and my wife is getting suspicious and thinks I'm being sneaky. Honestly, I don't blame her. I can understand where she's coming from. Lovers get jealous, see red flags, and ask questions. I understand that I've had my moments of jealousy too, but the truth is I don't want to bring her and the kids because it stops being a work trip and becomes a vacation where I also get to work, while also catering to her and the boys. In her mind, it's like I'm not working. Instead of a 3-day trip where I go to work and come back home, it now becomes a week-plus long vacation where we have to do all the tourist things I've done a million times for the last several years. A vacation with 2 boys isn't the most peaceful vacation in the world either, but she thinks I'm being sneaky. But the truth is I'd rather go do what I have to do, watch some TV in the hotel room without the boys screaming, smoke some weed and come back to my family in a couple of days. I do enjoy the small periods alone, but it's not like I have some secret family I'm traveling to see, nor am I planning trips to purposely get away. But when it happens, I do enjoy it by myself. This has caused suspicion and a rift in my household. Should I just tell her to come? But wouldn't that be more suspicious, like she caught me? Does that mean I can't take any trips without them anymore? I have to bring them every time? No more solo work trips? I've gone on these trips long before even meeting my wife. What should I do? We have a pretty strong relationship, and I would hate for something so small to cause us problems. You are the idiot. You want your cake and to eat it too. You picked a young woman who you thought would be satisfied with being a stay-at-home mom and not make demands on you, but unfortunately you should have just found the woman you enjoy for moments and not look for some long-term white picket fence situation that doesn't work for you. You say you appreciate your wife, but when does she get her small periods away from the family to smoke and have some space and not deal with being probably the only one doing all of the labour to allow you to live the life you live? Jesus, I missed the age gap at first. She's 24 now. They've been together long enough to have 2 children. Chances are she hasn't seen much of the world yet, while he's bored of it already. Some age gaps can be overcome, but not by someone who uses his greater experience to cut off his partner's opportunity to have experiences. Your wife is basically a single mother. Why did you even bother getting married or having kids if you enjoy watching TV in the hotel room alone so much? I think if you genuinely love your family and want to fix this, the only real solution is to cease traveling for work and start showing up as a father and a husband more, take more responsibility with the kids, and give your wife a break since that's what she's been doing for you for however long. I'm a 27-year-old man and my fiancée is 30. We've been together for nearly 4 years. I have a young grammar school-aged son and she has a tween daughter from previous relationships. Up until now, we've never had any issues regarding the children. Yesterday, her daughter was supposed to go on a camping trip for a friend's birthday, where they'd be doing activities like kayaking. My fiancé dressed her in a dress and I told her that it didn't seem the right choice for the occasion. She seemed offended and said her daughter could wear whatever she liked and that it wasn't a man's place to judge. I tried to clarify what I meant, but she cut me off saying, "She's my daughter, not yours." I took my son to a pre-planned match when my fiancé rang me. It turns out that the birthday girl's mom had told her daughter she couldn't go in a dress and needed to wear a tracksuit or something similar, so they didn't let her on the bus. My fiancé then asked if I could leave the match early to drive her daughter to the activity centre. I replied, "Why should I? She's not my daughter. I'm here with my son." Neither of us is talking now. I do feel bad for my stepdaughter, but I wasn't spiteful. My son was looking forward to it, and it would be about 4 hours of travel. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, LOL. You tried to help her and she told you to butt out. Dollars to donuts, you'll be waiting for an apology for a while. I'm going to say this just in case. While waiting, be sure to spend time with your stepdaughter. Don't let her get caught in the middle between you and her mom butting heads. She doesn't need this crap. Plus, common sense dictates that you don't wear a dress for that kind of event. Your wife is the unreasonable one here. You weren't attacking her or her daughter. You just saw a practical issue with the outfit. If she'd dressed her daughter appropriately in the first place, you wouldn't have needed to comment at all. But instead of recognizing that, she got defensive and made it about you, which made things worse. If she'd taken a second to hear you out instead of taking offense, the whole situation might have been avoided. Update: I talked with my fiancée and she asked why I would say something hurtful. I replied I was just repeating what she'd said to me earlier. Then she asked if I loved her daughter and I said I did. She asked if it was as much as I loved my son and I responded, almost as much. She got cranky. I asked her if she loved my son. She said no. I asked her if she loved me and her answer was, sort of. She started crying, woke up her daughter and told her they had to leave, though I hadn't told them to go. I said we could talk about it tomorrow, but she insisted, saying he didn't want us anymore. I told her that I never said that. Her daughter began crying and didn't want to leave, but her mother said, don't let me leave on my own. He doesn't want you. I reassured them both that they were welcome to stay. My fiancée decided to leave without her daughter and now she's not answering. When I spoke to my daughter's father, he just laughed and said she couldn't even hold off on the crazy until after the wedding. My son is very upset by her going. Her daughter less so. Apparently I don't toast Pop-Tarts as well as she did, according to my son. I don't toast Pop-Tarts as well as she did. I know this is not a laughing topic, but that's pretty freaking funny. Kids are phenomenally unhinged. She flat out told you she doesn't love your son and she sort of loves you. Wow, you avoided even more drama than was starting to brew. You and your boy deserve so much better than a no and sort of. And that poor little girl. This won't be the last time she has her life uprooted by her unstable mother. She deserves stability, not drama. I hope she finds a way to cope with all this chaos. Yeah, that kid has taken the brunt of this crap show. Mom dressed her wholly inappropriately for a camping trip and made her miss it. That is huge at that age. She'll remember that one. I'm betting Mom also told her that OP didn't love her enough to come get her afterward. Then to wake her up in the middle of the night to be emotionally slaughtered solely as a weapon against OP? Mom is a terrible person for just what she's done in the past few days. OP, bullet dodged. Bullet dodged until she remembered her daughter was still with me. One last visit of crazy when she decided to collect her. When she left, she went without her kid and wasn't answering. So I rang CPS. CPS didn't seem to give a crap. They rang her dad. I called her ex too. He said he could write a book about the nonsense she did. He said she straightened out a bit a year ago, but he said insanity was always going to find her again. Yeah, we're totally done.